B, the last one from your study guide, is a rational function that just kind of has a couple more pieces, but I don't think it's really all that hard. If you just kind of use the same ideas that we've used all along. And having this little chart over here helps us out as well. So, I'm going to test, or I'm going to look at this, and I know that when the top is 0, I get a 0 for my fraction. So it means I have zeros of 0 and negative 3. And then I know I have a vertical asymptote everywhere that the bottom is 0. So you should see that I get one at positive 4, negative 2, by making that 0, 8, and negative 5. So I get actually 4 vertical asymptotes in this. My horizontal asymptote is the x-axis, as it's been for pretty much all of the problems that we've done. So now I'm going to go and make my grid. I need to go out to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to go back to negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not really to scale, but it's okay. So I am gonna put a dot, solid dot, everywhere I have a 0. So that's 0 and negative 3. And then I'm going to put a vertical dotted line where I have all my vertical asymptotes. So I have one here, I have one here, I have one, where else, where's my next one, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have one at 8. I also have my horizontal at the x-axis, which I guess I can go like this, but you probably don't do that, because it's just already there. Anyway, now I make a chart, and I want to test a bunch of different values. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 regions to test. So, the first number, I might have paused there. I don't know quite. Oh, yes, it did. Hold on one sec. I think you have everything that I said. Something weird happened with the iPad. Anyway, let's move on. So I make a chart. Maybe I'll have enough space here. And I want to plug in different values to this fraction up here, figure out if they're positive or negative. So the first value that I'm going to plug in is negative 6, x, y, negative 6. Negative, negative. I'm just going to count negative, so I'm going to use my fingers. So I've got 2 negatives so far. This is negative, so that's 3. This one is positive because it's squared. It doesn't matter that I get a negative 4. This one's negative, that's 4 of them. This one's negative, that's 5 of them. So I have 5 negatives, which 2 of them cancel, 2 of them are left, so it comes out to be negative. So that means that this guy goes like this. And I was just keeping track of that on my fingers, so I don't have to write it all. Alright, now I'm going to plug in in region 2, I'm going to go between the asymptote and the 0. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's negative 4 that I'm going to plug in. I'll do the same thing. I'll keep track with my fingers. So negative, negative, negative. That's positive. Oh shoot, I wasn't keeping track of my fingers. Negative 1, negative 2, negative, positive, negative. That's 4 negatives, and this one's positive. So that means I get a plus. So this goes like that. Next, what was wrong with me? This is not negative 6. I plugged in negative 4. Okay, now I'm going to plug in negative 1. So this is negative. That's 1 negative. This becomes positive. So actually, I'm not going to plug in negative 1. I'm going to plug in a value in between these two right here. So I actually have to plug in negative 2.5, which is kind of a little bit more work than the rest of them. But, so negative 2.5. So this is negative. This is negative. That's actually positive. So I've got 1 negative. Negative times a positive. This is negative. This is positive. When I plug in negative 2.5, that is negative, and then this is positive. So you can see that I have 3 negatives, so it's negative. So that tells me that this goes down. Now I'm going to plug in negative 1. Sorry about that on the last one. So I choose negative 1 because that's between the vertical and the origin there. Negative 1. Negative. This is positive with 3 wins. This is negative. When I plug in negative 1, this is positive. This is negative, and this is positive. So there's 3 of them. Yep, 3 of them. So I get a negative as well. So this asymptote is actually on the same side as that one. I go on in this nature for a while, and I plug in positive and negative and stuff like that. I'm going to test x equal to 1. I'm going to test x equal to 5. This is going to come out to be positive. You know that 5 is going to come out to be negative. So I would expect you to be doing this on your own and show the work in your chart. But I'm not going to keep going with this video. And then the last number I would test would be 9. And that guy would come out to be positive as well. So I would take that information. So it goes plus minus plus. So it goes up. This one is down. And this one is up. Your graph should look like that at the end. That's all.